Well, hello and welcome to the Zone. I'm your host, Big Wave Dave. Today we are going to talk about the global flood. Now, to do that, we brought in a very special guest. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hello, my name is Noah, and I would like to tell you a story. It's a true story about a flood that once covered the entire earth. Now, to understand why this happened, we need to go back to the very beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and everything in them, and He did this in just 6 days. Now, on day 6, God created Adam and Eve, and He placed them in the Garden of Eden. When God first created everything, it was perfect. Adam and Eve lived in peace with the animals and walked with God. In the midst of the garden, there was a very special tree called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now God had told Adam and Eve, "You are free to eat fruit from any of the trees of the garden, except this one." He said that if they ate from this one, they would die. This was a test to see if Adam and Eve would faithfully follow God. Sadly, they chose to rebel against Him, and everything changed. God's creation was no longer perfect. It was corrupted by sin. So God kicked Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. From now on, life was going to be very hard for them. Adam and Eve's sin brought pain, death, and suffering into the world. Over time, the world became a very dark place. The people and the animals were doing terrible things, and the earth was filled with violence. This made God feel really sad, so He decided to start over. Now, God told me that He was going to send a flood to wipe out everything on the face of the earth. All of the people and all of the land animals were going to perish. This made me feel so terrible inside. Thankfully, God said that He was going to save me, my family, and a bunch of animals. Because of this, He told us to build a big ship called an ark. The ark was huge. It was over 500 feet long and 50 feet high. It had to be that big, so that we would have enough room for the animals and the food that we would need. Whew. It took a long time for us to build that ark. When the ark was completed, the animals started to arrive. God sent 2 of every kind of animal, male and female, to the ark to be saved. Now, some of them were small, while others were bigger. Things like bears and tigers and camels. And funny-looking ones like this giraffe here. Now, my favorites were the elephants. Altogether, we had about 7,000 animals on the ark, including a lot of birds. Man, were they ever noisy. Now, you may be wondering, how in the world did we fit huge animals like these on board? That's a great question. There is an answer. Even these huge animals started out small, so God, in His wisdom, sent us babies, like this one here. Here you go, little fella. After the ark was loaded, God closed the door and the global flood began. The flood was so scary. At first the storms were very loud and the ark rocked violently back and forth. We could hear the waves crashing all around us. On board the ark, we kept the animals in cages to keep them safe. The animals were so amazing. There were so many different kinds, and they came in different shapes and sizes. Some of the animals were really cute, while others were downright scary looking. We had to bring a lot of food and supplies aboard the ark, and feeding and caring for the animals was a lot of work. Thankfully, we found some ways to make our jobs easier. After about 5 months, the water started to go down, and the ark came to rest on top of the mountains of Ararat. However, it would be another 7 months before we could come out of the ark. It took a long time for the earth to dry out. We were on the ark for 370 days. When we finally came out, everything looked so different. And as the animals moved out, God said from now on that they would be afraid of us. That made me feel kind of sad. But we were grateful to God for saving us, and God promised that never again would He flood the earth. And He placed a beautiful rainbow in the sky as a reminder. My friends, whenever you see a rainbow, please remember, God loves you. We need to do our best to listen to God and to do what He says. Farewell.
Wasn't that cool? Now, if you want to learn a lot more about the flood, you should go to the Ark Encounter. Answers in Genesis has built a full-size replica of the ark. It's amazing. Well, that's all the time we have together, my friends. I hope to see you soon here on The Zone. God bless you and have a great day.